Hello and welcome. My name is Zafar Iqbal, and you are watching the Mojo Story. Just hours after Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg appeared before US senators to defend the company's safety practices, a devastating tragedy unfolded in India. And that's what happened yesterday in Gujarat. An Air India Dreamliner, a Boeing, crashed shortly after takeoff from Ahmedabad. Now, there were 242 people on board, the passengers, all of them except one uh, survivor, all of them were killed, and there were many other casualties on the ground also. You can see that's the CCTV footage. 32 seconds since the takeoff took place and the crash happened. That's that CCTV footage. Now, this crash, the first ever that's involved a 787, has reignited global scrutiny of Boeing's manufacturing and safety standards, especially after these past disasters. What is the exact cause of Air India crash? That is still unknown. The inquiry is underway. The investigations are on. And it's happened the same day the CEO admitted to serious missteps and a lax safety culture at Boeing. To get a sense of all of this, we're joined by an expert panel today. We're joined by Pulak Sain, founder, MRO Association of India, and Neha Lal, former cabin crew manager. Welcome to Mojo Story, Neha and Pulak. Pulakji, if I may start with you. Uh, what immediate red flags do you see in uh, Air India Dreamliner crash, especially given its timing with the Boeing Senate hearing?
Is that question for me?
Yes,
See, first of all, they will ground all the uh, 787 fleet all around the world, which will be the case. And you have seen the Senate questioning the chief of Boeing, and he has agreed to some misdoing. But I do not it is not compounded by that fact that has been happening from 2013 onwards. But in my opinion, this crash could have been uh, this aircraft is actually an electric driven aircraft. Hello.
yes, we can hear you, sir.
This is a electric driven aircraft, unlike a hydraulic driven aircraft. In
Right.
my opinion, there could be two possibilities. One could be the the electric system failed totally when he was taking off. As you can see, he went up to 6,625 feet above the ground. The landing gear would have been retracted by then. The flap was also down. So the angle of attack suggests that there have been some thrust problem because the thrust never took off. As you can see, the thrust has not been full power. As you know, I'm sure you fly, you would understand that this aircraft has to have a full power, full thrust to take off. So, in my opinion, there must have been some problem with the electrical signal.
Right.
That is what I feel.
Right. Pulagi, that Senate hearing had taken place in April. But Neha, if I may come to you now, it's a tragedy of enormous proportions. It has not happened in India in the recent past, such a massive tragedy. Just 32 seconds after the plane took off, it just got converted into a ball of fire and fell down. Uh, do you think that it's a turning point or just another moment of scrutiny that will pass?
Well, good evening, everyone. It's a matter of scrutiny, or uh, it was a sabotage. I think these are all hypothetical situations we are assuming at the moment. But as we all know, that we have managed to get black box, and the truth will
Yes.
prevail, and we will exactly know what happened. because what I gather from all information, I think Captain tried his best. You know,
Right.
he also gave a signal of Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. So it
Right.
feels like there's something went wrong. As Sir rightly said, it possibility is electrical failure. But I also, when I see aircraft taking off, I do not see a lift. And seeing there was no lift to the aircraft, and sorry to say, but captain didn't have the luxury of an altitude as well. It was
Right.
approximately 600 feet. I wish if the aircraft would have been on a little higher altitude, he would have managed to even, take off, or maybe, get the aircraft landed on a safer side.
Right.
But having said that, I think we should all wait for the DFDR and the CVR to the whole message to come across to all
Right.
Indian citizens, because we all are eagerly waiting to know exactly what happened. We have a lot of theories. Sir gave one, and I probably have one. This is all our perspective, but
Right.
in the end, truth will prevail. And let's see what is tomorrow in
What
store for us.
What is very clear is that the aircraft lost power. It didn't have the capacity to lift. It just lost that power and thrust. Despite initially moving on the tarmac and then taking off, and seconds later, it just lost the power. It, as it seems from that footage, and it just fell down. Perhaps the pilot didn't have even the power in his machine to maneuver and move away from those buildings, and that's precisely the reason it collided with one of that buildings, that hostel.
See, sir, again, if you see the video very carefully, I think maybe that might be the case, but there can also be a theory that the engine stopped, both engine, there was a
Yes.
dual engine failure,
Yeah.
right? And
Yes.
the best what he can do at that time to look for a safe place to land. The If you see, the aircraft didn't bank right or left, it straight, it was trying to get a height and altitude, but didn't so. And the best what he can do is land at the
Right.
safest place, and he didn't have even time to bank right or left. So the aircraft was stalling, and that we all know what happened after that.
Right. And Pulakji, perhaps if the pilot would have got some indication on the tarmac when the aircraft was moving, he would have just aborted that flight. He didn't get any of those indications. That is why he went ahead. But
Yeah,
it had not covered any distance. It just fell. The moment it got that initial lift and initial thrust, it seemed both the engines failed and the aircraft just fell down. There was nothing that the pilot could have done.
true. The pilot could not have maneuvered that aircraft uh, in that position to make a right bank or a left bank. It got initial lift of 625 meters because some power was there. After that, I think the electrical uh, connection to the engines had gone, and the landing gear should have gone up. But when it was 500 meters, it did not go up. Neither did the ailerons, which gives lift and balances the aircraft. They were also not functional. So, in my opinion, it has been an electrical failure. This is an only aircraft which is driven by electric, not hydraulic. So
And
that's my take.
all of that is a matter of investigation, and
Of
perhaps one
course,
of the key. Yeah, Neha, you want to come in?
Inform our viewers, 787, this is the first crash for 787. It's one of the safest aircraft what Air India fleet has. And
Right.
I also believe, I also want to tell all the viewers, aircraft on ground is thoroughly checked by engineers and by captains.
Right.
And captain signs a sheet. It's an airworthiness sheet. It's fit to fly. An engineer gives a fit to fly. That's the only time an captain will take that call to take the aircraft on the runway. If there, as sir said, there is a possibility, there was indications, and and it is very unlikely that he got indications and it didn't do anything. But I feel it would have been an electric failure. But at the same time, if you can see very clearly, the gears the never went up. So it is a hypothetical situation again. My perspective, when commander would have given a call to a first officer saying gears up, right, it is a possibility he would have done the flaps up rather than the gears up, because from this distance I cannot see the flaps are down, because they help, when the flaps are down, they help the aircraft to lift up. So it is a possibility. Again, my perspective, the, we will only come to know the truth when CVR report comes to the government.
These are all perspectives and different theories that
Yes,
everyone is putting across. But as you were saying, there are multiple checks done before the flight is worthy of flying.
absolutely.
Even at just before the takeoff happens. But now that the black box has been recovered, how significant is this in the investigation of what exactly happened, Pulakji, if I may ask you?
The black box is the only data that is collected on the aircraft, all parameters, and it will be milked, as I say in aviation parlance, it will be milked for all the datas, and investigators will sit and monitor all the. This is DVDR, means the digital data that will be uh, analyzed, plus the cockpit voice recorder. So all these two will be compared together, and it is of very prime importance that these are milked and the data is then uh, seen by the experts, and not one expert, there will be experts from DGCA, Accident
Yeah.
Investigating Bureau, CAA, that is Civil Aviation Authority of UK, has sent their team, FAA has sent their team, and Boeing. So all the 4 5 agencies will decipher what happened in the last moments. So that is going to be very, very crucial.
And I hope that is done in a time bound manner. But Nehaji, what do you feel? Will there be any systemic change after what has happened to rebuild trust in Boeing? It is something that has shocked everybody.
Sir, I am with you. Right now, every Indian feels that anxiety to fly the aircraft. There are people who are booked on Air India. There are people who are still flying tomorrow or day after, and many more. There are, so yes, anxiety is there. But I would like to also tell all our viewers, we also buy a car, right? We
Right.
buy a Mercedes to a Hyundai or a Honda City. So we are bound to have an accident, but we really don't know which one. But you don't
Yeah.
you're not scared to drive that car, you still do it.
Yeah.
So it
Absolutely.
is, I think it's one off incident what has happened. It is a very tragic incident what has happened. I do understand, but you can't stop flying. You still have to fly, and you have to trust an airline, and they will do their best.
And I think they are also operating in difficult circumstances. This happened yesterday, and today there was an Israeli strike on Iran that has caused major disruptions. The major disruption, flights have got diverted, some of them have got cancelled. So it is not an easy business for those people who are operating all of this. Pulakji, you would agree that it is a difficult situation. There are SOPs that have been put in place, but then obviously, yesterday when this incident happened, all the roads were stopped, they were blocked. But after 4 hours, the operations again resumed at the same airport, because there are many flights that are coming and going.
Yeah. If I can come back to the aircraft, ill-fated aircraft, it
Yeah,
came from Delhi on a 1.5 hours flight into Ahmedabad.
right.
So If it could fly 1.5 hours without any incident, it was then it deplaned passengers from Delhi, and they had a around 2 hours gap where other passengers were loaded. And as Neha Madam said, that they were there was checks because this is a long haul flight. Intense checks were carried out, and I presume everything was all right till the mishap happened. Coming to your the chaos that happened in Israel, yes, that is a very tragic situation. If you remember, we closed our air route with Pakistan after the
Yes,
operations. So, practically, there would be a very big detour for airlines from the east. When I say
right,
east of India, so they will have to go around the Cape or things like that, and lot of fuel waste will happen. Uh, Please correct me, Miss Neha, if I'm saying something wrong. And uh, flight prices will go up.
right, right. That is one of the possibilities. Of course, these are so many things that are intertwined in all of
Correct.
this. But the fact is that all these people have died. There is a DNA center that has been established in the hospital, and Prime Minister Modi visited Ahmedabad today. He was at the crash site. You can see Prime Minister Modi there at the crash site, exactly at the place, that hostel of the medical college that unfortunately got struck by that aircraft. This is that aircraft planted in the wall of that building. And Prime Minister Modi, of course, there at the crash site. And then he, of course, also went to the hospital and met with the injured people and the lone survivor there. Remember, there was one person who survived in that air crash, and he could walk on his own, though with a slight limp, but he could walk on his own, and he survived while all others died uh, in that uh, in that accident, in that crash. Now, this is Prime Minister Modi, obviously, at the crash site, taking stock of the things. He took a review of the entire situation and also met with the officials and went to the hospital. But Nehaji, it is an extremely tragic time for these families. Now, they cannot recognize even their loved ones. They have to, there's a DNA sampling that is happening, and they will get to know after 72 hours. Our reporter on the ground says there are many people who are missing. They don't know. They are not enrolled in any of the hospitals. No, this is the situation on the ground.
To inform you, the aircraft was fully fueled,
Yeah,
right? Because it was ready for a 9-hour journey. And once that aircraft fuel has touches human body, you will be charred and burned, and you'll
yeah,
it is extremely difficult to even recognize
yeah,
anyone. DNA will take some time because it's not an easy task even for doctors at the moment
yeah,
to handle families, casualties, to collect DNA. But having said that, it is um, really, my heart goes out to families, who not missing their loved ones. But I'm also, my heart is also going to a crew who's a 21-year-old
yes,
old crew
yeah,
who just joined 2 years back, and her family. She was the one of the bread earners for the family.
right,
So it is, I can have a lot of people, or there must be a lot of people on flight who were important. Everybody was important. But
yes.
right now, I it's just heart goes out to all of them and all Indians. It's the aircraft crash might have happened in Ahmedabad, I think, but the voice, the loudness has traveled all over the world at the moment.
Yeah, when we were seeing those pictures of the families in the hospital. Uh, they are in complete distress. Now what has been done, they're not asked to fill in those forms. Those procedures have been simplified for them, but all of these people had made plans to go to London. Some of them were going for summers for 3 months, 4 months. There are different plans, and all of this happened in a matter of 32 seconds. In fact, there is that CCTV video. We have put a time stamp on that. I would want my producer to play that video. Here it is, 32 seconds.
It's very less time for even to anybody to react, but the survivor managed it. So
Yes, and that's a miracle that a person survived. He said that after 30 seconds it all happened. He's right, it happened in just a matter of 30 seconds. But clearly a miracle that he survived, Pulakji.
Out of 242, he's the lucky one to have come out. And with, yes, he's injured, but not at that level. Though he is admitted into hospital, I saw a video of him walking out. There have been video on the internet, and that is why I think he's a very lucky man, and he is the only witness to what happened into inside the aircraft.
true that, sir.
Yeah,
And he would be, and trust me, right now, every Indian would want to know from him exactly what happened.
correct,
And there is Prime Minister Modi is speaking to him in the hospital.
correct.
He's injured, he is hospitalized, and Prime Minister Modi went to the hospital and met that survivor. Now, initially, there were reports, AP had reported, quoting a police officer, that all the people uh, on in that flight had died. But later on, they changed that statement, that because we saw that one of the persons actually walked, and there was some hope that there would be more survivors, but that is not the case. Just one uh, person survived in that terrible terrible accident, in that terrible tragedy. But Nehaji, how should countries like India deal with those manufacturers which are still under global investigation? I know that this is the safest aircraft, anything is possible, but do you think that these are internationally set protocols and SOPs that are adopted, and perhaps, or do you think there is need to have a fresh look at the entire system after this accident took place?
So you are right. You know what? After the investigation, right? Lot will come out. There will be some procedures will change, things will change. But let me also tell you, we have one of the best civil aviation officers in India. An aircraft only flies once the airworthiness certificate is given to an aircraft, and it is not given after like a month or 2 months. It actually have 3 months of flying, several checks, C checks, and then the aircraft come into flying. So, having said that, yes, you're right. There will be a protocol change. There would be new procedures coming for cockpit as well. There will probably the checklist for captain to a first officer would change, and it will come for good, for sure, at the moment.
Right. And on your screen, you can see there are some of the graphics that we have made that set back in Dreamliner's history. Battery fires in 2013, the FAA grounded the entire global 787 fleet after lithium uh, ion battery fires were reported in multiple jets. There is another slide that says that delivery halt between January 21 and August 22. Boeing paused nearly all Dreamliner deliveries amid FAA oversight and internal audits. And 2019 onward, those are the production flaws. The 787 program faced serious quality control issues. So, Pulakji, what do you say with all of this in the backdrop and in context after this tragedy took happened?
Sir, any manufacturer, when some of the parts malfunction, the aircraft are grounded by all authorities till the trouble is rectified. You are citing the 2013, all lithium batteries were changed and they came as a uh, new one were fitted with no flaw. So now they will they will find uh, where is your book? They will find what was the problem in this aircraft, and I'm sure there will be some changes that will come because
But
no
yes,
aircraft will be considered safe if they are not certified by the DGCA, FAA, or Accident Research Bureau and things like that. They will never get off the ground if the aircraft is not rectified, the defect is not rectified.
Neerji, we know that the inquiry was ordered right away and there is an investigation. Multiple agencies are investigating the whole thing. But is it time bound? What are the procedures that are followed here on if such an accident takes place?
So I honestly won't be able to comment upon that. I actually do not have information, right
Right.
information on this. But
Yeah.
yes, the investigations are going to go on, and it is going to take time because there are people who are flown in from uh, London. There are people who are
Yeah.
coming from Boeing, and DGCA is giving full support, and they're going to work together. It will take time because it is not a small. It is a very it is a tragic crash what has happened, and a lot they're going to scrutinize every
Yeah.
part, every information. Even they will talk to the gentlemen who were the only survivor, and then
Right.
probably they will come to a conclusion. It will going to take some time, so we have to have patience and we should give them time, and we want that perfect information. We as Indians, full world, all viewers want to know exactly what happened on that flight, those 32 seconds as you rightly mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. And would want to play that video again of that 32 seconds. That's a very, very important video. In just a matter of 32 seconds, the plane moves on the tarmac, it takes off, and then gets converted into a ball of fire. Here is that video playing again.
Oh,
Nehaji, last comments from you before we wrap up.
So last comments, I think we should have, I think every Indian wants to know exactly what happened. Everybody wants to know. There is a anxiety with lot of and I've got anxiety as myself to take the next aircraft less flight, right? But we need to be strong. We have to give time to DGCA. We have to believe in the system. We cannot blame Air India was wrong or captain was wrong till the time truth prevails by tomorrow, or maybe in a few weeks. We have to have, you know, we have to hold on to our thoughts, and if you know the family members, be with them. It's a very, very hard and a very sorrow phase for them. My heart goes out to crew and cabin crew and cockpit crew. It is not easy. They would, everybody on that flight, as you rightly said in the beginning, were going either for vacation or to meet family. Somebody had, probably done their some work in Ahmedabad. They came for some medical
Yeah,
facility to be used or something, some reason. But it's just right now, be with families, give them support, give them love, and be strong and wait for the reports from the government or
right,
DGCA, and then we will move forward. And yes, the anxiety prevails, but we have to move on.
right. Plug the last word to you before we wrap up.
Sir, the DGCA report is yet to come. It will take maybe perhaps a week or a little more. We will know the exact details of how it happened. But nonetheless, so many lives are lost. My sincere gratitude to the God to give them lots of energy for their tremendous loss, not only on the aircraft, the students who died in the hostel.
Yeah.
I pray to God that God should give them a place in His lotus feet. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pulakji, Nehalal, for joining us today and for sharing your thoughts. And thanks to our viewers for watching the Mojo story. Thank you.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.